Okay, good morning. I don't know if everyone can hear me. Good morning.
Good morning, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Since everyone can hear, I think maybe we should just wait some few minutes so we can have more people. Okay. Once again, good morning, everyone. I want to appreciate the organizers, which is very own tech design hub. It's been a very creative platform, so to say, as regards technology. They've been consistent with information, sharing of information, because it's all about enlightenment. It's all about educating people on the use of technology and basically where the future is. So, in order not to waste our time, because we are meant to start 10 and we have 2 hours. So, while we're waiting for others, I think we can just proceed. It's so unfortunate that you know what people are actually looking for, the wealth, or should I say that, yeah, the wealth that most people are looking for is within them, but they keep going out scatter looking somewhere else, because any business today that is not in line with technology is not sustainable. So where will others be if not here, when we've all heard that the future is technology, the future is cryptocurrency, the future is blockchain, because every business is going to be driven in the next five, between now and 20. 25, they're just going to be a whole lot of foundational design or foundational preparation towards uh, blockchain, so to say, because every sector is going to be driven by technology before 2030. So, which means, yes, we have like 8 years, we have like 9 years, yes, but between now and then, there's going to be a whole lot that will be in place. Some of us have started, some are still migrating. Most of our payment system in the next few years are going to be driven by blockchain. So I really don't know why millions of people would not be interested in such a free session like this. I'm open and looking forward to seeing them in the next training, which has to do with trading, because I see millions of Nigerians getting their hands burnt every day, giving people money, doing forex, doing all sorts. But it's just because they they just don't want to get the right information, and they just dabble into some of those things and they lose. I don't know. It's just so pity. I won't be talking about trading because there's someone else who'll be talking about trading. I've I look back at my trading portfolio in 2017, and I was seeing over 500,000 $500,000, $500,000, yes, for a whole year, over 500,000, over 500,000, no, over $800,000 for a whole year. And I said to myself, has it been? Has it been worthwhile? Has it been profitable? Has it been viable? I'll tell you yes. Yes, I made mention of $500,000 as the total in turnover, so to say. So my profit is not 500,000, $800,000. I would have loved to show you some of those things, but I'm not doing trading. I'm just trying to let you know the journey, how I move into blockchain, how I move into cryptocurrency, and how I move into trading. So I saw the outline for the training, for the trading is really really wild thing that I'm sure there's going to be the free version and then there's going to be the comprehensive version. I just need to let you know that you need to be a part of the comprehensive version because there's a whole lot about trading. In as much as I said, I had over $800,000 as turnover, I still lost. I lost in Naira, I lost 26 million, in 2017. Yeah, 26 million around April, and by December, yeah, by October that year, no, October, then between October, so between April 2017 and October, I felt like committing suicide. So that's to let you know that there's the good, the bad, and the ugly side. So don't just think everything will be rosy. Everything has its own risk. So someone is going to teach you about risk management in trading, is actually, I'm just giving you an overview of the two. That's blockchain and then cryptocurrency, because I'll be focusing on the introductory part of blockchain technology, which will now be escalated into the different types of projects under blockchain, which Bitcoin is one of it. So I was actually a major in Bitcoin, but the person that will be taking the next course is actually going to be talking more about not just Bitcoin, but other cryptocurrencies. So the future is cryptocurrency because the world is spending presently different currency in our countries, and then they are looking at because the world is going digital in every other sphere. So definitely currency is also going to be going digital. And if currency is going to be going digital, is what is being called cryptocurrency, another name, digital currency. Yes, digital currency. So in that point, then people will now be um, doing transactions digitally, where everything, there's not going to be any need for any physical cash. The problem they are still having, that while they've not made that universal, is because of the regulatory side of it. The whole essence of blockchain, so to say, is a form of decentralized transaction. So there is no central body. So each country has what we call the central bank, which is what we have in Nigeria is called Central Bank of Nigeria. So US also has its own central bank. UK has its own central. So every country has its own central bank where they regulate inflow and outflow of the currency, which determines the economy. So the fear of those central banks presently, while they've not been able to adopt it, is because of the fact that they will not have control over transaction. So they are afraid of things like money laundering, terrorism, and all of that. So these are the fears, and they are working so hard against all of this. And that's the reason why you saw recently that the Nigerian government just talked about the naira. So it's to let you know that they've seen that the future is digital currency, which is cryptocurrency. So they are actually doing everything possible to flow with this. Let me shock you there that the Nigerian Port Authority is actually using blockchain technology as we speak now. Some of the pharmaceutical companies, not in Nigeria though, are using blockchain technology as we speak now. The most common one is Tesla. Everyone knows about Tesla very well. So it's something that has come to stay. It's not so me saying 2025 and 2030 is to let you know that some things are still going to have to be in place before it can be globally accepted. So many countries are actually using it, are using blockchain technology as we speak. I Because of my journey, I was lucky to enter into blockchain technology. I was among the early birds, so to say. Not that early, but in Nigeria early because it's way back 1970, then 2009, and then I joined in 2015. So, but as at that time, we were very, very few Nigerians in it. So by and large, this is for me the introduction that I can give to what we have, but we just have to start now. I was using that to see if we can get more people to actually come in to the class. So I have with me Choma, who is also a co-host, and I'm sure we have one other person who will also be uh, co-hosting this with us. So, like I said, I want to appreciate Tech Design Hub for giving me this opportunity to be here. So, in the next few minutes, few hours, few hours, permit me. I just want to confirm again if I'm audible enough. So, we will be going in. Okay, we'll be we'll be going deeper with blockchain as a whole. So just let's follow through while I make it so easy. So we call it blockchain for beginners. What is blockchain technology? Is a step-by-step guide to what blockchain technology is all about. So what makes it so important? Why are you interested in blockchain? So you just imagine a world where you can actually send money directly to someone without a bank. I just need you to look at it from that space. You have to send money to a friend who is not in Lagos, or who is in another part of Lagos, or who is in the same state you are, in another state where you reside, or this another country where you reside. And there is no bank involved. There is no form of, oh, I've sent you the money. Have you seen it? I have not seen it. What's happening? How do we get to trace the money? Oh, why is there a third party? Why am I paying CBN certain amount, 50 naira, 2 naira, 50 kobo? Why am I paying all of this? So these are some of the things that blockchain technology is actually coming to solve. So in seconds, instead of days, you get. So sometimes in Nigeria from 26, 27, that's the last weekend of every month. If you send any money, if you do any transaction, 50% of the transaction will not go until Monday, Tuesday, the following week. So we are looking at a form of transaction that you get in seconds instead of days, and you don't have to pay exorbitant bank fees. So some of us had to start using Kuda because of the fact that we're paying exorbitant fees to using the commercial banks that we are used to. I remember the days when I was really, really actively involved with Bitcoin trading. Like when I say actively, I do nothing less than 20 million naira worth of transactions every day. Back then, but a lot of things that has happened. I can't do. I don't even do up to 1 million daily again. So, but those are part of the things you need to know, and these the reason why you're here. But the funniest thing is some of the people I trained, they are still doing over 10 million naira every day. But I am not in that space. Thank God he's also a friend who I also introduced into that, and till date he's still doing so great with trading. So there are different windows. So that's another thing I also need to let you know. So the window you use or the door you use in getting in will determine how long you stay in the business. So it determines your risk factor. Some of us went, which I might not have the time to share that, but if time permits, some of us went with a very, should I say, a very bad door. When you go in with a bad door, you understand. So whatever you face, and I was already in with a back door, and the door you used to enter will determine how fast you collapse or you go back, you get. But I had to, every other person that I were to come behind me, I had to take them through the right journey because my hand was already burnt heavily. That was when I was going up to 26 million. So I had to train other people. Don't ever go through this route. That's why mentorship is very, very good. And information, which is what we are doing today. You understand? So I think it is very, very important for you to understand that part. You get. So it's a lovely experience, but it came with its own good, bad, and the ugly. So I am really, really grateful to Tech Design Hub for making this possible for others, because I won't be surprised if I see some of you as millionaires in the next 2 3 months. It doesn't take that long. In the next 2 3 months, I started December 2015. Yeah, December 2015, and then I got my hand born. I was already in millions in January, February, March. I got my car in March. In 3 months you will have millions. That's the truth. But like I said, the door you use in entering will determine how long you're gonna stay. So every other person that came in through me, I ensured they went through the good door. I went through a very, very bad door, which I will create time to explain that to, or you can ask your question along the line. Or you drop me the question. If there are things you need me to explain, just drop it there because I might just be going straight so that you can make me share some things with you. So Tech Design Hub, good one. So moving on, when you store money in an online wallet not tied to a bank, meaning you are your own bank and have a complete control over the money, then it's still called digital currency, or so to say blockchain technology. So blockchain technology allows you to be able to store money in an online wallet not tied to any bank at all. So presently now, I did a project um 2017, and then I was looking for, so we were trying to use blockchain technology for it, and so there won't be any government involved and all. But here in Nigeria, they would say it is illegal. EFCC will start coming after you. So we are still battling with a whole lot of things, you get, and we are still battling till date. Last year, a friend was being picked, and we spent initially I had to go to Femi Falana's office because what we do, we understand what we do. This is blockchain, pure blockchain. We are not fraudsters. We are not into Yahoo. A lot of people are going to think you're a Yahoo person. So I had to take the case to Femi Falana, and he charged us 3 million. And along the line, he called Abuja, and they were telling, they play politics with everything. We got another lawyer for just 500,000, and we got the case settled. The guy, all the confiscated stuff of his were released in less than 30 days or 60 days, you know. So a whole lot of things that we've battled with the Nigerian banks, and I can still tell you how the Nigerian banks also play some fraud um, to seize your money, and they use that money to do forex. You know, it's a whole lot of crazy thing. You know, I had another friend where he had 1.2 billion in his account, and they said to him that it's too small to have such an amount. You know, so a whole lot around this thing that we call blockchain technology. So going on, you don't need a bank's permission to access it or to move it, and never have to worry about a third party taking it away or a government economic policy manipulating it. So what we've been having over time is that the government policies always affect uh, our currency. You know, if you have 5,000 naira in your account in January, if you say 5,000 naira in your account in January, and you come back in December that year, that the 5,000 naira would have been devalued. I don't know if you're getting it. It would have been devalued. You know, what leads to the devaluation is because of the economic policy, a whole lot of things happening in the economy. So these are some of the things that Bitcoin, I joined Bitcoin when it was $300, you know, so one Bitcoin was just $300. You can imagine. So that's why I said, so then I was having up to 40, I think the highest I accrued was 49 BTC. So I was telling someone, if I had left that money, you know, if I had left that money and then come 5 years down the line, when 4 years down the line, or 5 years down the line, when Bitcoin got to $60,000, you can imagine when you multiply $60,000, something you bought at $300 and then grew to be $60,000, and you have 49 of that unit. If you do the calculation, let me calculate what we have today. 60,000 times $60,000. So you have $2.7 million. You know what that is? $2.7 million. So if you have $2.7 million and then you convert it to my calculator, I'm not sure you can. That's 1.3 billion naira that I'm going to be having. And I bought that $300 then was at let's even say 400. I bought it at 120,000 naira. So what I bought at 120,000 naira per one times 49. So let's say I bought it at 5.8, everything altogether, 5.8 million is now 1.3 billion. So that's to let you know how huge it can be. And that's like 4 years in the interval 2017. As at 2017, I was having up to 49. So 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 4 years, you know. So if I left that, it's no, there's no government economic policy that will be affecting it. There is no worry about the third party stealing it, because every day I check my wallet. I still have my wallet, blockchain wallet here. So I check my wallet every now and then. So if I need to just check for checking sake, I don't have up to that. So don't get so worried, you know. So if I need to check, I'll just log in. This is my account. I'll just log into it and see what I have there. But by and large, you know, you need to learn how to keep your wallet info. That's your login details. So as of today, Bitcoin is $45,000, which is not bad. You get. So let's just move on. This is not a word of the future. It is a word that an avid but growing number of early adopters live in right now. So the early adopters, I wouldn't say I'm an early adopter, but I can say that you are an early adopter too. So if I'm saying I'm an early adopter, because it is not yet legally approved for usage by all globally. So we are still the early adopters. We are taking the risk, joining the race. You know, a lot of people are making millions out of Bitcoin every day. You get, so we are still the early adopters. This so by and large, and they are just a very few of the important blockchain technology use cases that are transforming the way we trust and then exchange value. We'll get into the rest later on, so to say. Yet for many, blockchain technology is still a mysterious or even intimidating topic. A lot of people don't like to hear it. So many Nigerians, even not for the economy, Nigerians don't really like some of these things. I can say to you that Nigerians actually don't like betting, this sport betting per se. But because of the economy, Nigerians don't really like. It's not like they enjoy doing all this babajeb, all this naira bets and all of that. But because of the economy, the same thing applies to MMM. Most of us do not like gambling. We really do not like gambling. But the economy is at that point, when you have 100,000 naira and the next time you'll be getting another 100,000 naira can take you another 6 months. And you just like someone is telling you that there is a money doubler somewhere. If you put in this 100,000 naira, it can turn to 200,000 in 2 months. You prefer to keep it there rather than because if you hold that money, you just be spending it. So some of us get into some of those things, money doubler, because of the economy. There's no assurance. In some part of the world, you know that in US, you get to US today, in 2 3 days, you get a job. Menial job, yes, $15 per hour, $20 per hour, $25 per hour. It is there. The job is there. If you can work, you work. If you go to work, you make that money per day. So it is statutory. It doesn't change. But here in Nigeria, before you can get a job, it's crazy. You don't even, there's no assurance of you getting a job. Not to now say, okay, next month I can have 200,000 in my account. It's not, nothing is sure in Nigeria. And these are the reasons why most of us fell into that. For me, I didn't join MMM when it first started. I was like, no, I'll never do. I don't like doubling money. I don't do this, do that. Until I met everybody around me. They were doing it and they were cashing out. They were cashing out, cashing out. And I was like, I met an elder brother, and it was just like, Ogbeni, see, I just got this money. Na 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 na. I was like, Egmo, if you can do this thing, you that I know, you're very disciplined. Money is very prudent. Okay, let me also try it. And then I tried. But for me, I tell people I didn't lose out of. I joined in October, it crashed in December, and I've already recycled. I made close to maybe I did 150 and 100, and I was recycling every week. So I was smart enough. I didn't really lose fun out of it. But those are part of the things that we need to understand why our economy drove us into some of those things. So some even remain skeptical that we'll use this technology in the future. Yes, that's what so many people are saying. This skepticism that exists today is understandable because we are still very early in the development and widespread adoption of the blockchain technology. So what's happening presently is the adoption. We're all driving for the adoption to be universal. So once it gets universal, like most of Tesla is really, really promoting it. Nigerian government is talking about e-naira now. So Australia is using it. Some part of the US are also. So let everybody, once it's universally adopted, boom. Those of you that you have just one Bitcoin in your account, you'll be billionaires by then. That's what it means. You get. So that's where we are. So let's fast forward. 2021 is to blockchain what the late 1990s were to internet. So in the 90s, the same way internet came in, and then a lot of people were like, no, what's this? This is Antichrist. No, this is this, this is that. They were not willing, they were not ready to move with it. They felt it doesn't make any sense. No, because they were comfortable with their traditional method of doing business and they didn't want to move with it. But today, you agree with me that there is no sector that is not using internet. Internet was not in existence in 1960. You understand? But today, it is now a major factor to driving every business and every business model. So blockchain technology is anything but actually a fad. It is here to stay. And if you're listening to me, you are also an early bird too. So this basically is just an introduction of the blockchain. So some will say blockchain 101, and it's a complete easy to understand step by step. I believe as beginners, the way I'm taking this, it's making sense to you. You're understanding. So you're going to learn everything from what blockchain is and what it matters to how blockchain works and what tomorrow most promising blockchain application may be. You also walk away from this post confident and someone is we have an we have a noisemaker. Let's quickly look for that. Okay, I think I've sorted that out. Okay, let me see if okay, all right. I think we're good. So you also walk away from the post confident and well on your way to making informed, independent blockchain technology investment decisions. So, like I said, I will not be talking about the investment part. So someone else is actually going to be talking about that. But this is to get you informed of what blockchain technology is all about, and then what are the opportunities, because yeah, everybody wants to make more money, and you also be no slouching if you actually want to hold your own in conversation with your families and friends. So you can also be a blockchain ambassador, so to say. So blockchain is just the concept of protocol behind the running of blockchain. Blockchain technology makes cryptocurrencies. So there are different cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is just one out of it. So they are all called digital currencies secured by cryptography. So, and that's why they call it crypto, cryptography, which is the security, you know. I don't know how to explain that part, but cryptography is like okay, when you say photography, you understand. So is like different elements merged together. When you take a picture, you can also separate the picture. So when you cut all the pieces of the picture and then you bring them in together, that's crypto. You get so cryptography. So if you separate them, the, each of them cannot be an identity of the photo you've taken. But when you bring it together, so the security are in each of the elements. So blockchain allows you to bring it together. So that's what it means. So just like Bitcoin work, just like the internet makes email possible. You understand? So you send mail from somewhere and someone else is receiving it. It goes beyond you pressing the send button and then the other person clicking on open. So there is something in between, and that's what technology is all about. So there is an encoder and there is a decoder. So which is the same way, which is what we mean by the cryptography. So the blockchain is actually an immutable. Yeah, we are getting to start using the terms. So every other thing I've been saying are simple grammars for your understanding. So now we're getting to be talking about the main tech are they jargons, tech terms of what blockchain technology is all about. So it is an immutable. Immutable means it is unchangeable. So you cannot destroy it. It means that the transaction or file recorded cannot be changed. So the moment, for instance, now if I'm sending money from GTB to Access, someone along the line can change some things. You understand? Because the IT guys behind can easily check my if I'm sending, I'm going to be using NIBS. You understand? So because it's third party, so CBN will have to approve that transaction. So which means CBN can come in and disrupt that payment. But in the case of blockchain, it is immutable, it is unchangeable. So it is an immutable distributed digital ledger. What we mean by digital ledger is digital record of transactions or data stored in multiple places on a computer network. So let me see if I should explain that now. So when you say, I'm still going to reiterate it, blockchain, block of chains. So there are different chains on different computers. So for every transaction you do, there are miners all around. I hope I'm not jumping. So there are miners all around. So everybody can mine. So big blockchain technology has to do with mining. It's just one part of it, which I'm still going to explain. So there are miners. Miners means people that have computer dedicated 247. Unfortunately, because we don't have steady electricity in Nigeria, some of us have tried mining before, and so we couldn't get to make the money. I think we have 24 hours electricity. Nigerians will be in big millions and they will be the major players for blockchain technology. I bet that with too. Why? Because we in Africa, we are the highest adopter. Nigeria is among the top 10 in the world when you check on Google. Um, Bitcoin adopters, Bitcoin adopters, you know, by country. Nigeria is actually among, I really do not know ranking, but in Africa, so to say, in Africa, I can tell you for free that Nigeria is actually among, but it's so unfortunate because of the fact that it's not legalized. So we find it very, very difficult. So it is very, very difficult. Selected countries who said that they use our own cryptocurrencies in 2020. So Nigeria is actually number one, followed by Vietnam, followed by Philippines, like that. US is even in number one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, nine. China is in eight. India is on seven. So it's just because our government is actually frustrating it. If not, we would actually be number one in the adopters globally. But like I said, what do? We just have to flow along with it. So let's go back to where we are. So I said blockchain is actually an immutable, which means transactions cannot be changed. So once you send, it's gone. Once you send, nothing can be done. So there are basically two types. We have the immutable records, immutable and then distributed. So I would definitely go into that in detail. Immutable and distributed are the two fundamental blockchain properties. So if you have to talk about the properties of blockchain, you just say we have immutable and then distributed. The immutability of a ledger means you can always trust it to be accurate. That means it's going to be 100% because there's not going to be any change. So being distributed protect the blockchain from network attacks, and that's the reason why there can't be anything like maybe hackers interrupting your transaction. They cannot interrupt your transaction. They can only enter your wallet if you give them access to your wallet. But when it comes to the transaction itself, nobody can change it. I told you CBN can change your transaction. Even an IT guy in a bank, if you send 20,000 naira out, you can make the person on the other hand receive 15 and siphon 5 to itself. But in the case of blockchain technology, you cannot. It is not possible. So moving on, being distributed protects the blockchain from network attack, like I said, because which I'm still going to show you later on. So if for every transaction you send out, I told you is there's going to be a block of chain. So different computers all around the world owned by miners. Like I said, you also can be a miner. All you need to do is to get your mining equipment, which is your server, your internet, your computer. That is all you need to become a miner. You start mining. But if you have mined $200 or $10,000 and then never takes light, you will lose everything. That's the reason why people in Nigeria don't mine. So what do miners get? Although maybe I'll still get there, but let me just sell that to you quickly. What they get is that transaction charge that you used to see when you want to send Bitcoin out. There's going to be what they call transaction fee. It's actually called miners fee. So that's what they earn because we are using their computer to complete that transaction. So when you send Bitcoin, for instance, or Ethereum or any cryptocurrency from your own side, the transaction fee is what determines. That's the reason why those with higher transaction fee go faster. So maybe when I get there, I'll still explain that part. So there's what we call each transaction or record on the ledger is stored in a block. each transaction, so or record on a ledger is stored in a block. So you are now getting to understand the meaning of blockchain. For example, blocks on the Bitcoin blockchain consist of an average of more than 500 Bitcoin transactions. So if you see, if you send a Bitcoin to someone, maybe any amount, maybe $10, it will show you all the wallet ID that have had something to do with that transactions that you've made. So which means Mr. A sent Bitcoin to Mr. B. By the time Mr. B will be sending to Mr. C, it will be showing Mr. C that the money $100 was sent to Mr. A. And then Mr. A inside that $100 sent $10 to you, which is Mr. B. So all that is still part of the blocks that creates all the records. So you hear me talking about records and then talking about blocks. So all that forms all the blocks. So the information contained in a block is dependent on and linked to the information in a previous block. Can you see it now? So there is a chain of all the transaction. But so you now be worried like, that means I can know who sent Mr. A money. No, you can't. It is just the wallet. And that's the reason why even the wallet changes. So for anyone, if you check very well, unless you create, which we might not really talk about that. So you can now create a wallet address that you don't want the ID to change. But normally, wallet changes, some changes every 25 minutes, some changes every 10 minutes. So it's just like your bank account. In this case, your bank account can change in a day 100 times. It can change 100 times in a day. So that's to let you know how secure this is. So someone will be asking again, what if I gave someone, if I give you my wallet address in January, and then in December you send to that wallet address, what will happen? Will I still receive that money or not? You will. So you alone can have 1 million over a lifetime. You can have over 1 million wallet address for one account. It's just for the security of the whole thing. That's why they're using this 32 hexadecimal stuff, so that it can be easy to generate. For anybody, if you did math, combination and permutation, you understand how that works. So let's just move on to talk about the types of blockchains. So there are basically 4 types of blockchain. There is what we call the public blockchains. So what do we mean by a public blockchain? Let me see if okay. So what do we mean by a public blockchain? Public blockchains are open, decentralized network of computers accessible to anyone wanting to request or validate a transaction. So they check for accuracy. Those miners, can you hear? Those who validate transactions receive reward. So the whole essence of a miner is just to validate the transactions. So which they are, like I said, they receive rewards at the end of the day, and that their reward is those 0.02 transaction fee, this, that. So there are millions of miners all over the world. So when you send money, it's just like they serve as the CBN, kind of. So, but they are anonymous. Even they themselves, they don't know. So you have a mining machine in your house, which is your computer with the server connected to the blockchain technology. So when there is any transaction, you won't know where the you won't know the country. It doesn't come with country, it doesn't come with name. Transaction doesn't come with country, it doesn't come with name, it doesn't come with anything. So your own system generates. So different people all over the world have their computers ready to mine. Then each blocks gets full. Once it gets full, That means it goes to another miner's server, mining server. So per transaction, there are millions of transactions all over the world. So all of these transactions are being converted into small blocks, which are now looking for ohms. So the ohms are now those servers to validate the transaction, which are owned by miners. So that's what it means. So public blockchains use proof of work. You might get to hear about that. There's what we call proof of work or proof of stake consensus mechanisms, which I'll try and explain later. Two common examples of public blockchains include the Bitcoin and the Ethereum blockchains. So now I've started going into Bitcoin and Ethereum. So they are the two. Bitcoin was created by, okay, we'll talk about that later. So it wasn't deliberately created. So it has limits. It's just like CBN, Nigerian CBN will tell you that we have so number of gold in circulation. I don't know if you're getting it. So when you talk about Bitcoin, uh, available Bitcoin supply, you get. So people will tell you that we have Bitcoin has just $21 million available. So all of the transaction we want to make on that Bitcoin cannot go beyond that. So when they created it, there was a cap. So every currency has a cap. Naira too has a cap. Like I really don't know. Maybe what we have is 10 trillion naira is what we are all spending in Nigeria that is in circulation. If they burn a set, they will have to reproduce that same amount. So it mustn't go beyond that 10 trillion naira. So it doesn't affect the economic policy, it doesn't affect the economy. So it can cause inflation, it can cause deflation. I really don't know what's going to cost, you understand? So I didn't do economics, but anybody who does economics will understand that better. But I understand that part for the Bitcoin. So unfortunately, they only created for just 21, they created $21 million Bitcoin available, worth of Bitcoin available is just 21 million, so there is a limit to that. And that was the lesson. So Bitcoin was the first one to test the waters. So there is so much limit. And those are the things Ethereum came to correct. So Ethereum basically has more than Bitcoin, so to say. You get, so Ethereum is wider, and there's so much limit to that. Ethereum in circulation is up to 117 million. Can you see the difference from 21 to 1? So that's like times 5, more than times 5 of Bitcoin in circulation. But Ethereum is not as widely used as Bitcoin. I'm sure you know that, but what I'm trying to say is Ethereum gave more room. So let's just move on with what we have. Private blockchains. So let's talk about private blockchain. We've talked about public blockchain. Private blockchain are not open. They have access restrictions. People who want to join require permission from the system administrator. They are typically governed by one entity, meaning they are centralized. For example, there's what we call the Hyperledger. So Hyperledger is a private entity permission blockchain. We'll still find time to talk about that. Then we also have what we call the hybrid. So when you hear hybrid, I'm sure you know what it means. So consortiums are a combination of public and private blockchain. So sorry, hybrid blockchain is also known as consortium blockchain. So hybrid means the combination of private and public blockchains and contains centralized and decentralized features. For example, we have the Energy Web Foundation, we have the Dragon chain, and then the R3. So with time, you get to know about all of this. There isn't 100% consensus whether there are different terms. Some make a distinctions between actually the two, while others consider them as the same. Then the fourth side of blockchain is called side chain. A side chain is a blockchain running parallel to the main chain. It allows users to move digital asset between two different blockchains and improve scalability and efficiency. An example of a sidechain is a liquid network. You also get to know about a liquid network going forward. So now you have a wider view. So let's just go deep of what blockchain is all about. So let's share the history of blockchain. Blockchain isn't just a database. So don't feel is just storing data. No, it's actually a technology that's stacked with digital trust that is revolutionizing the way we exchange value and information across the internet by taking out the gatekeepers. So the whole essence of blockchain is to remove gatekeepers from the process. For a complete and more detailed deep dive, you can read up on some of these things online. But basically, that is what blockchain history goes back farther than you might even imagine. But we've condensed it by answering four critical questions on this. Number one is who invented blockchain? So the first blockchain like protocol was proposed by a cryptographer. So there are cryptographers. That is like a course that you can do. We don't have it in any of our universities. So there are cryptographers, just the same way we have lithographers, photographers. So they are cryptographers. They encrypt. It's all about encryption. Okay, so I told you crypto is about security, right? So it's all about encryption. So I've been looking for the closest word to use. So encryption means you encrypt, you keep something inside, you keep something inside something. So not to make it accessible to people, so using code, you get. So the first person who brought blockchain to us is David Sham. It's called David Sham, and that was in 1982, so to say. And then later in 1991, there's another guy called Stuart Alba and one other Scott guy who wrote about their work on consortium. So a lot of people have been writing about all of these things, but they didn't know if it's going to be called blockchain, if it's going to, they were just writing different things, they were students, you get. They were actually students at that time, and then, or researchers, let me use the word researchers, don't let me say students first, so that you don't think they were in their secondary or elementary schools or colleges. No, they were actually researchers, so to say. But it was Satoshi Nakamoto, that's the person we all resonate with. And Satoshi Nakamoto is actually a pseudonym for a person or a group of people. We don't know if it's one person, we don't know if it's two, who now invented and implemented the first blockchain network. So every other guy like David, like Scott, like Stuart that I made mention, they did not implement the blockchain network. They only wrote about it. They spoke about it. It's just like you sitting down and talking about e-naira, digital naira. So you have been talking about it. Then someone came after you to now create it. So Satoshi Nakamoto was now the first person who came after to now say, let's deploy this thing now. So he deployed the first world digital currency, which is called Bitcoin. That's in 2009. And guess what? What did he use it to buy? Who knows? If you know it, just drop it on the chat box. Let me see if we are following. What did Satoshi Nakamoto, what did he, what was the first thing he used Bitcoin to buy? Let me see. You can drop it in the chat box and let me know if we are together. I'm waiting. If you don't know, just drop it there that you don't know. So I'm waiting now. If you don't know it, just drop it there that you don't know. So then I share it. Okay, someone said he doesn't know. Oh, Sarah too. Wow. Okay. Okay. So sorry. I actually thought. Okay, I need to. I would have done a survey to know the level of information you all have about Bitcoin. Okay, so the first transaction that was done with Bitcoin was to buy two pizza. Most of us we like eating pizza. In Nigeria, pizza is how much? Let's say 3,000 naira per one. So he bought two Bitcoin. He bought two pizza with the Bitcoin he has. I don't know if you understand. So it is known as the first official use of Bitcoin for a commercial transaction with an actual company. So he used it to buy pizzas too, basically. So going forward now, don't say you don't know again. From now, you can, and I think it was in 2010. That was in 2010, around May. I can't, some said May 22, but we shall know it is May. So every May 22, we celebrate the first Bitcoin transaction, so to say. So now you all know. Okay, good. So let's move on with that. Who owns blockchain technology? It's not owned by Satoshi. So because blockchain technology is the technology behind the blockchain, it cannot be owned. So nobody owns it. It's just like the internet. Nobody owns the internet. But anyone can use the technology to run and own their own blockchains. And this is where I'm going. So every one of us here, a time will come that whatever field you are into, I don't know. I would have loved to. If you can drop your field, then I can talk about how you can use Bitcoin to run it. So a time will come where you now be using Bitcoin to run every sector of the society. How? So if you're into e-commerce, for instance, people will not need to be going through the bank. You can actually create your own project where you create your own coin, and then you use blockchain technology to build your own framework. So what that means is you will not need the Nigerian bank to do anything. You have people will have their wallet on your e-commerce platform, and then everything will be encrypted in such that when they so what makes it blockchain technology? So because some will say, but all I need to do is I have an e-commerce site. Let me just put crypto there now, Bitcoin. If you are using Bitcoin, it is not your own project. It is an existing project. But what I'm saying is we can create um tech design coin. Let's say TD coin, TDC, just the same way we have BTC. You can create TDC as a coin and create a project around it. So anyone that wants to do a paid version, a paid training on Tech Design Hub, which is TDH, will have to pay with their own coin. So I'm trying to sell the idea of how they create communities around coin. So they first create a project. So the project is Tech Design Hub. Then they now create a coin, a currency for that project, which is now a TDC. And then anybody that wants to do any business with them, they will have to pay with their coin. So when Tech Design Hub comes up, they're going to do what they call initial coin offering, ICO. They will sell their coin to people to come and invest. So they can say they want to generate 100,000 worth of their coin, 100,000 units, and then ask people to pay certain amount to own per coin. So it is called initial coin offering. So when people now buy, the number of people that buy will now determine the initial capital of their project. So by the time so it's now the law of demand and supply. So when they start doing adverts of their courses like this now as a paid course, and a lot of people are coming to be buying. Let's say it is 1 naira to one TDC, which is their coin, and a lot of people are coming. They go to so they will Tech Design Hub will have to go to exchangers to get their coin registered on those exchangers. For instance, the common one that you know, is Binance. So they have to first get their coin on Binance so that it can trade with other coin. So that's why if you go to Binance now, you see some coin as $0.0001, and you see Bitcoin as $45,000. So it's to let you know that that project is lower in value to Bitcoin. So which means their project, they are not selling yet. And the second day you see that coin moves up, it means a lot of people, they've been able to gather more people to buy. So the more people buy, the higher the value of their coin. So when more people buy, they have just 100,000, and then a lot of people, everybody bought the 100,000, then there will be, so the law of demand and supply, there will be no supply. So the coin will now be scarce. When the coin, their coin is scarce, those that have it, they bought at 1 naira to 1 TDC, they will now be selling at 1 naira to 2 TDC, to 2 naira to 1 TDC. I don't know if you're getting the analysis now. So at that point in time, Techdesign coin will now be increasing in value. It was 0.001 before. It's now turned to 0.0. You understand? It will now be coming like that. It's because the more people they bring into the community. So I'm sharing the skill, the secrets of some of this coin to you. So that's the reason why some of you just see Tesla go online, you now start talking about Bitcoin. The moment you see Tesla talking about Bitcoin, it is a trick. But most people don't understand this game. So many people all over the world will now start, oh, Tesla is talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to have future. You just everybody going to be buying. And that's when Tesla will be selling the coin he has. You'll be selling. So when you are coming to buy, then because he is part of those that have the highest number. So when you have the highest number, if he odd, it will become scarce in the market. Then it will become expensive. So he will order all the coin he has bought from you. Then Bitcoin will go down again. I'm only trying to make it as simple as possible. Do we understand? If you understand, just drop yes. If you understand that model that I just shared now, just drop yes. I'm just trying to share how people can create projects. Okay, someone is asking, how does it work for me? Okay, Ramon said yes. Okay, someone is saying, how does it work for me as a fashion designer? The same thing applies to you as a fashion designer. But unfortunately, our raw materials as a fashion designer is not here in Nigeria, your production model, but you can still infiltrate it. That's why I talked about the e-commerce. So if you become a premium brand, like you have, so it's all about community, it's all about the number of people coming. So if you have 1 million people patronizing your product, you can create a project around it and then make an initial coin offer for people to come and invest. It's just like you're a fashion designer, and then you want investors to come and invest in your fashion. What do? You tell them that, well, you have this material that you want to go and create yourself in China, but you don't have the capital. If they can get you 100 million, you go to China, you bring in those fabrics, you be the major distributor of so design in Nigeria. And you're able to pitch that idea and make a whole lot of sense as a fashion designer. A lot of people now come to invest. They'll be buying shares in your company. That's the normal way we do it. But instead of them just buying shares, you will now create a coin around that fashion shares. So when they are giving you, someone gives you 10 million, another person gives you 50 million, another 10 million, 5 million, 5 million. Each of the money they are buying, you turn it to ratio. And it's all about, this thing comes verbal. You now tell them, oh, someone is making noise. Okay. So each of these people coming, you will now equate it to a coin. I don't know the name of your company. So let's say it is FF Sarah Fashion Coin, SFC. You can just name your coin SFC. That people should come and buy your coin. They will like, if I buy your coin, what am I getting in return? Oh, I'm going into fashion. I want to go to China. Once I get 100 million, I buy this product. If I come to Nigeria, I'll be the major designer for this particular design, and nothing less than 100,000 people need it every day. So that is the traction, 100,000. So now the 100,000 people that need it every day, they will not be buying it with Naira again. I'm telling you the global trick with dollar and Naira. So the demand of Naira is lower. What Naira brings to the table is lower. When you talk about our gross national product. So we don't export and gross domestic product. We don't export as much as we import. So Nigeria is a dump site. We buy everything from China. We buy everything from China using dollar. So the more we keep buying with dollar, so dollar now is the coin against our own Naira as a coin. So the more we keep, okay, all right, Stephen, Sarah, oh, SSC, wow, good job. I'm in the spirit, so it is SSC now. Interesting. You get, so the more we as a country keep importing, so we are using dollar to go and be importing. So we are using dollar. Let's say dollar is the coin now. So dollar, the value of dollar will be rising, and then the value of our own coin, Naira, will be decreasing, will be going down. You understand? So let me now bring it to SSC now. So when 100,000 people can be buying from you every day, 100,000 people, you've been able to go to China to go and buy large number of units worth 100 million, convert it to a coin. It is just digital. Don't worry, it doesn't exist. Just digital. Someone will just design a framework for you and then everything. So when people now want to buy from you, instead of them going to the bank to go and pay to your account, they will go to an exchanger. They will go to an exchanger to actually to go and pay. They'll go to an exchanger to convert their money. Either they buy Bitcoin first, or they buy whatever USDT or any coin, or when they buy Bitcoin. So that exchanger allows them to convert the Bitcoin to your own currency because it's already listed on that exchanger. So when they convert, they now have your coin. That means they bought your coin. They can now use your coin to buy item on your own e-commerce site. They can now use it to buy the clothing material. So when more people keep coming to be buying from you, that is when that's when your coin will start getting weight. So the more community you have around your coin, the more it grows. So that's just to give you an analysis or analogy of how those coins work. So, but I'm not to talk much further. I'm just trying to explain how blockchain works and how it was being introduced. So, who founded Bitcoin? Well, we'll all say that it was founded by Satoshi Nakamoto, and we don't know who the face behind that name is till date. So it's just a pseudo, because nobody wants to come and do anything against the government, because what he did was actually not it was actually legal, so to say. What made it legal is because Bitcoin was not a legal tender, so they are still battling it to date. If that guy had come public, just like the guy that did the MMM, they would have picked the guy. You get. So that's it. Who sent and received the first transaction is actually the person. So Nakamoto sent 10 bitcoins to Al Finney, who built the first reusable proof of work system in 2004. So it's dated back to 2004 when they built the proof of work system. Now, another thing you need to know is how does the public blockchain works. I talked about the public blockchain earlier. So let me just make it simple. As a society, we created ledgers to store information. I'm sure you know about ledgers. Um, like, and they have a variety of applications. For example, we use ledgers in real estate to actually store a house record. So in fashion too, I'm sure you have a ledger So if you have any business, you can drop your business so that when I'm talking, I can be talking as it relates to your business. So in fashion, you have a ledger where you record people's your client's height, shoulder length, this, that. Is a ledger. All of your transactions that you do. So person paid in 100,000 today. You write it there. We use 50,000 naira to buy for last month. You write it there. Is a comprehensive report of all your transactions. So, for example, we use the ledger in the real estate, such as when alterations were made or a house was sold. You go back to that same ledger. We also use ledger in bookkeeping to record all the transactions a company makes. I'm sure you know about that too. So, bookkeeping mostly relies on double entry accounting to store transactions. So if you did accounting, you understand this better. I did not do accounting, so there's some things that might be strange to me too. I was in science class, so although this is a step up from single entry accounting, we have what we call the simple entry accounting and then the double entry. So the simple entry actually are made to understand that it lacks transparency and accountability, while the double entry accounting also has its own pitfalls. Entries are actually accounted for separately, making it difficult for one counterparty to verify the other's record. So, because they are recorded separately, you get. So, you are in Lagos, another person is in Abuja. You can't see what each person is recording. But records stored using traditional ledgers are also easy to tamper with, meaning you can easily edit, you can remove it, or add or um, record it. Your IT guy can easily go there and make some alterations. We've heard even in the banks where some of their IT guys are removing client money, people's money, 5,000 every day. So all those things are possible with traditional method. Um, Bookkeeping mostly rely on double entry accounting. Although this, okay, so um, let me see how best to explain that. Records stored using traditional ledgers are also easy to tamper with, meaning you can easily edit, and as a result, you are less likely to trust that the information is actually accurate, right? Okay, good. So, public blockchains solve both of these problems and the way we trust by evolving the traditional bookkeeping method. So, pub- public blockchain can be seen as a third entry, so to say. So, there's a first entry, there's a double entry, then there's a third entry. This consensus, so this creates a tamper-proof record of transactions stored in blocks and verified by distributed consensus mechanisms. This consensus mechanism also ensures new blocks get added to any blockchain. An example of a consensus mechanism is a proof of work, often referred to as mining. So, which is something I've laid emphasis on earlier. They are miners, so they are different systems. So, when the transaction is being done, you can see the trace, the block in different computers around the world. One of the computer can be in Nigeria, another one can be in Spain, another one can be in Mauritius, and the three of them will not even know who is sending the money. It's just one transaction, but the blocks are being distributed. You get, so it's just for mining isn't universal to all blockchain. It's just one type of consensus mechanism currently used by Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin and Ethereum uses mining, although Ethereum plans to move to another in the year 2022, which is next year. So which is a proof of stake. They call it the POS. So what that means is a time is coming that, because I was looking forward to being a miner too, I was looking forward to a time where the Nigerian government, there will be electricity, or I don't want to say you should go and create your own electricity 247. Anything can happen. And once there's a bridge, you lose everything. So in the US, normal electricity that we have is there. Then they have solar as backup. Then they have generator too as backup. But here in Nigeria, generator is our main source, while NEPA is like a backup and solar is like a backup, because even the solar too, sometimes, over there, the sun add up, generator add up. If it's during winter, they use generator to boost that their solar panel so that it can store more energy and then later on, if they need electricity, they can use that. But here in Nigeria, the whole thing is just a little bit complex, and that's the reason why we might not be able to ascertain all of this. So by 2022, where Ethereum stops using miners, so people like you and I will not be able to make money. So they are introducing something also for the miners, whereby I'm still going to talk about that. For you to get transaction come to you, it will be based on the number of Bitcoin you have. So someone who has $10,000 and someone who has $10 presently now, both of them transactions will come to them to mine. It is evenly distributed. You understand? Because the is only always looking for available empty blocks to enter for it to validate the transaction. But a time is coming where mining will now be based on the person that has 10,000, $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, and the person that has $10,000. It will first go. It will be going to all those people that have high volume of Bitcoin first. So in a day, a transaction might not even come to you at all. It's until when those people are full, like they are full part time, then there is more transaction. Then it will now come to those that have 50,000, 40,000, before it will now get to $10. People that so what you have in your account will determine the higher your bank account, blockchain, Bitcoin bank account, the more you attract mining to yourself. So those are the things that is coming on board. Here's how this process works with Bitcoin. When sending Bitcoin, you pay a small fee, which is called network fee or transaction fee for a network of computers. So is there can be $1 for transaction fee. It's not just coming to you alone, because I told you it goes to different blocks. So you might just get 2 cents, 3 cents. So different people, you can go to 16 blocks. It depends. So when sending, you pay a small fee, and then for a network of computers to confirm your transaction is valid. Your transaction is then bundled with other transactions pending in a queue to be added to a new block. I told you earlier on that it's all about blocks. So the computers then work to validate this list of transactions in the block of solving a complex mathematical problem. That's the cryptography, to come up with a hash. So when it is done, it will now generate a hash, so which we call the hash code, which is 64-digit hexadecimal number, 64 in length, very long. It's called the hash. So once solved, the block is added to the network, and your fee combined with all other transaction fee in that block is the miner's reward. It is that simple. So I don't know. I want to try and see if I can show you. Can I share image? Let me send an image now for you to see. I'll send an image of how it looks like so that you can understand, so that it won't look like, what's he even saying, Seth? Just hold on for me, please. Blockchain. So I just sent the first image for you to have an understanding of what it is like. So you see, when you have a Bitcoin, a new transaction is being entered. The transaction is then transmitted to a network of peer-to-peer computers scattered around the world. So you don't even know where it is going. Then the network computer then solves some equation to confirm the validity of the transaction, and then transaction is completed, blah, blah, blah. So everything is there for you to actually see in the image I just dropped. Each new block added to the network is assigned a unique key via the cryptography, everything like I said. So to obtain each new key, the previous block key and information are imputed into a formula. So as new blocks are continually added through the ongoing mining process, they become increasingly secure and harder to tamper with. Anyone caught trying to edit or a record will simply be ignored. So no matter how you try to edit it, because they are all coming from, as an archive, if you want to hack it, you have to connect to all the computers that were being networked to mine that particular transaction, which you don't even know them, you don't have an idea of their IP address. So it's complex for hacking to occur. So all future blocks then depend on information from prior blocks, and this dependency from one block to the next forms a secure chain, which is the blockchain. So you can see this depicted below, which I'm sharing for okay, well, I may not be able to share that because it's not really. So let's deeper. So I said there is what we call the proof of work and then the proof of stake. So let me explain. The public blockchain functions through consensus mechanism, the process of validating transactions without a third party like a bank. So there's no third party involved. POW and POS are two such of that mechanism where they are go to reach a consensus that the transaction is valid. So they are the one that validates the transaction, and this remains the same. How they get there is actually a little bit different. So I'm just going to explain the difference between the PWO. The PWO, the technical term for mining, is the original consensus mechanism. It is used by Bitcoin and Ethereum as of writing. So when I'm saying Ethereum, now we are not talking about Ethereum as a coin. We are talking about Ethereum blockchain technology. So there is Bitcoin blockchain technology and there is Ethereum blockchain technology. So the Ethereum blockchain technology, so Bitcoin is the only one standing alone. There are over 10,000 coins projects as we speak, more than 10,000. So every other coin are now on Ethereum blockchain technology, not on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is Bitcoin for Bitcoin as a whole, for the coin. So don't get it confused when I'm saying Bitcoin here. I'm not talking about the Bitcoin you are buying. I'm talking about the technology behind that coin. Is called Bitcoin. While the technology behind that every other coin that you want to talk about, XTR, IOA, every other coin, they are running on the Ethereum technology. Okay, so that's for an information. So like I said, Ethereum is going to move to POS by 2022. POW, which is proof of work, is based on cryptography, which uses mathematical equation only computers can solve. So that's the reason why you have miners all around. So each of those computers, what they do is when the transaction comes in, they do some mathematical equations, and then the result is what gives birth to that hash. You generate that hash. So the example in the previous section of which I sent to you, how blocks get added to the Bitcoin blockchain, explains the system. The two big problems with proof of works are that it uses a lot of electricity. Can you hear now? It uses a lot of electricity, and that's the reason why it can't function in a place like Nigeria and can only process a limited number of transactions simultaneously, 7 for Bitcoin. So what that means is transactions typically take at least 10 minutes to complete. So they are looking at the future because in Nigeria banks, if you send money to someone using GT to GT, for instance, it takes less than a second, let's say 2 seconds. You get, but when you do Bitcoin, it's taking an average of 10 minutes. Can you see the difference between 2 seconds and 10 minutes? So they want a situation whereby you can send a Bitcoin now to someone and the person will receive it immediately. That's the reason why they want to move to POS, proof of stake. So I don't know if you're getting the whole drift there now. So I just needed to explain that. Okay, good. I just need to explain that so that you know the difference between the POW and POS. So the proof of work is what we are using now, where it uses miners. But the disadvantage is that it eats a lot of electricity, and also it takes an average of 10 minutes. But they want it to be done in seconds. So that's the reason why they want to be using proof of stake. Now, the stamp stake, I've explained it. So stake means the number of Bitcoin you have. If you have more Bitcoin in your own account, mining account, so when the transaction is coming, it will come to you very fast. You're getting it now. It will come to you very fast. So in seconds, the transaction can be completed, which means people with lower coin, like some of us now, we don't have much BTC in our wallet for mining. So people like us will not even get anything. So it's about staking. So you have to be staking more. You have to be keeping more coin for you to be able to mine. That's what it means by that. So by 2021, Ethereum will be moving to that. So it's not going to be based on miners. It's going to be based on. So that's it. PST uses cryptographic algorithm for validation, but transactions get validated by a choosing validator based on how many coins they hold, which is also known as their stake. So the number of coin you have will determine how you mine. So I think that is that. So we said blockchains are or scalability. Let's talk about decentralization and security and scalability of blockchain. Most blockchain projects are built around three core properties: decentralization, stability, scalability, and security. So blockchain is meant to decentralize. That means no government, nobody, no unilateral body will be able to control it. Scalability, it should be scalable for all, and security, it must be highly secured. So for developers are constantly, so they are what we call blockchain developers. Some of us tried to get into that, but Nigerian markets is not really friendly. So if you're a programmer, you're a developer, you should be moving into blockchain, being a blockchain developer. So you'll be building projects for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most times, a lot of people, so under blockchain developers, there are Bitcoin developers, and then I'm not saying the coin, I'm not talking about the coin now. I'm talking about the technology behind the coin that runs. So that Bitcoin, I think the guy that created that, he should have used another word first to separate Bitcoin as a coin and Bitcoin as a technology. So there is a technology that drives that coin. It's also called Bitcoin technology. Then we have the Bitcoin project. The same thing applies to Ethereum and Ether. So in Ethereum is the technology, Ether is the coin. So I think that should make it easy for you to understand. So Ethereum is the technology. So there are Ethereum developers and there are Bitcoin developers. So most people now want to be, because it's pretty difficult to be a Bitcoin developer because there's nothing to change in Bitcoin. There's no major thing to work around in Bitcoin, so everybody wants to be an Ethereum developer. So developers are constantly trying to balance these aspects. So none of it is compromised, but they often have to sacrifice one for the other. For instance, the blockchain trilemma concept was first coined the scalability trilemma by Ethereum founder. Who knows the name of the Ethereum founder? It's actually Vitalik Buterin. Vitalik. Just make it Vital. Don't say Vitalik Nico. Vitalik. Okay. So let's look at these three things. Decentralization means there is no central point of control. Instead, decisions are made via consensus over a distributed network of computers. This is, however, one significant trade-off. A trade-off the speed, because there are too many computers involved on a transaction. So speed is an issue there. Same transaction takes longer because multiple confirmations are required to validate a transaction. Hence why Bitcoin is actually very, very slow. So this is one thing that they battle with up to now. Then the second one is called scalability. Scalability is the ability of the system to cope with a growing number of transactions. Scalability is crucial for mass adoption because any system needs to operate efficiently as more people use it. So more people are coming on board. So there should be more miners, so to say. So for instance, now below is a rough breakdown. I'm going to give you a rough breakdown of how many transactions Ethereum, Bitcoin, and credit card, which is the normal banks, companies can process per second. Bitcoin can only process 7 per second, while Ethereum can do 30 per second. And then credit card can do 5,000 credit card transactions per second. Can you see why they are moving from POW to POS? So because they want to beat that credit card per transaction. So the last one is security. Security is the ability of the blockchain to be protected from attacks. Unfortunately, exchanges and source code have been hacked on many occasions. So, like I said, they can hack your exchanger. So they can hack Binance, but they can't hack the transaction on blockchain. But if they hack Binance, they can do anything there. They can move all the money or all everybody's accounts on Binance. They can move it to their own account. It's different from hacking your transaction along the line. That's what I mean. So, what is the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchains? So, I've been saying this that there is Bitcoin blockchain and then there is Ethereum blockchain. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two biggest cryptocurrencies and blockchains, cryptocurrencies and blockchains, so to say. So, as coin, they are the two biggest, and also as blockchain, they are the two biggest. So, discussing and comparing them will make a whole lot of sense for you to understand how they work. So, let's look at Bitcoin basics. The Bitcoin network is a public decentralized peer-to-peer payment network that allows users to send and receive bitcoins without a bank getting involved. The digital currency, or which was the digital currency for Bitcoin, is called Bitcoin tokens, uses the ticker symbol BTC. Okay, and is the only cryptocurrency traded on the Bitcoin network. I said it earlier that the only cryptocurrency traded on the Bitcoin network is Bitcoin. So transactions are recorded using a digital ledger, and nodes ensure the POW consensus mechanism is followed. So they use the POW, which is the mining. So for many, Bitcoin seems complicated, but it isn't when you view it as a combination of three things. One, the peer-to-peer system, the centralized systems like the internet, and also a store of value like gold, often called digital gold. So let's talk about the Ethereum. Ethereum came about in 2013 after traveling. In 2013, after traveling, meeting with Bitcoin developers, you can see. So before they created Ethereum, they had to meet with Bitcoin developers and discovering Bitcoin limitation. So the guy, Buterin, decided to improve upon the Bitcoin blockchain and built Ethereum. So the guy saw so many limitations with Bitcoin, and that's the reason why he created blockchain. So Bitcoin, you can't alter anything. You can still make some alterations with Ethereum. You get so no developer can do anything on Bitcoin technology, Bitcoin blockchain as we speak. There's nothing they can do. It's been locked for life. So the Ethereum network is a public decentralized peer-to-peer, just like Bitcoin. It uses nodes and allow users to send and receive cryptocurrencies. In this case, Ether. Can you see? I've explained all of this that Bitcoin uses Bitcoin as a coin, while Ether uses Ethereum as Ether as its own cryptocurrency. You get so that's the name of their currency. The network is much more than a payment system. Mm-hmm. So Bitcoin is just mainly payment system. It was primarily created to deploy decentralized application called dApps and smart contracts. So if you go deeper, you know the meaning of smart contracts and dApps. dApps are simply decentralized apps. That's what it means. Or computer programs that interact with the Ethereum blockchain. Smart contracts, however, on the other hand, operate on the Ethereum blockchain and are contracts that automatically execute without an intermediary once certain conditions are being met. For example, a smart contract could be programmed to send a designated person a portion of your Bitcoin when you die. Can you get that? So, but in the case of Bitcoin, you can't. If the person dies, the Bitcoin dies, and the Bitcoin just go like that. It stays in the person's wallet, and it cannot be. You can't speak it. You can't generate it. You can't do anything about it. So, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. In summary, Bitcoin and Ethereum networks are public decentralized peer-to-peer networks with their own tokens, Bitcoins and Ether. Both rely on cryptography and both uses digital ledger technology. For a complete Ethereum um, versus Bitcoin match, you can also go online, read more about it and get, but they differ significantly in purpose and capability. Bitcoin is a decentralized payment system. Can you see the difference? Payment system and a store of value. Its blockchain is the database of all Bitcoin transactions and tracks their ownership. Ethereum is more than a payment system and allows smart contracts and apps to be built on it, making it more sophisticated blockchain. So Ethereum allows all of us here, we can create our own coin, we can create our own project, we can create our own contract. So these are some of the things that makes both of them different. So what are the benefits of blockchains over traditional finance, over the bank? Let me share that video with you also. Sorry, not the video. Let me share that picture so you can just have an idea. My system. Sorry, just hold on. Okay. Hold on. I want to add another picture for you. So the benefit, just the benefits. Is it? Okay, benefits. All right. So I've shared the benefits now. Okay. So when you talk about the benefits, the benefits. Let me see. We should be rounding up very soon. What are the benefits of blockchain? One is trustless, unstoppable, immutable, decentralized, lower cost. When I say lower cost, you pay less. If I want to send money to someone to send normal currency to someone in the US from Nigeria, it's very expensive. But if I want to send Bitcoin to someone in the US, it doesn't cost me much. So peer-to-peer, it's transparent and it's a universal banking. So those are the benefits. Then it also has its own disadvantages too. There's an environmental impact, there is a personal responsibility, its scalability is a disadvantage. Then the false narratives that people are giving to it is also a disadvantage. So you also need to understand that as well too. What else do I need to share with us? Because I need us to round up in the next 15 minutes. So which industry is using Bitcoin blockchain technology? Blockchain technology is currently used across various industries like supply chain, healthcare, retail, media and advertising, financial services, insurance, travel and transportation, oil and gas, and gaming. So let me share some of them with you. Cryptocurrencies are using blockchain. So the killer app of blockchain today is internet money. Cryptocurrencies it allows you to transfer value faster and cheaper across borders without a bank. Beside Bitcoin and Ethereum, other digital currency examples include DOT, NEO, Cardano. Most of you should know Cardano very well. Cardano is thriving. Theta, which is the USDT, like Binance Coin, which you all know now, and then the Litecoin. So these are some of the cryptocurrencies that are doing great. Then smart contracts. These blockchain applications are contracts that automatically execute without an intermediary once conditions written on the computer code are met. So there is smart contracts. There is video games and arts also. They are also using that. You may have heard about crypto kitties. It's actually a game launched on the Ethereum blockchain. One of the virtual pets in the game was sold for over $100,000. Then there is the peer-to-peer. People buy and sell energy directly without an intermediary. Energy trading, you can do energy trading. There's a whole lot you can do online with it. Healthcare process optimization. Blockchain can speed up the time required to pay health insurance payments to patients and store and securely share medical data and record. They're already doing that. A whole lot of medical data are being stored on different apps as we speak now using blockchain. Real estate processing also, property ownership record can be securely stored and verified on the blockchain. This record cannot be tampered with. So you can trust they are accurate and more easily verify property ownership. But the only challenge with that is the day I sell my property to someone else, it will still be showing, like we said that it can't be tampered with, it can't be edited. You get, so those are the things. But if they use smart contract, that's the reason why they are using smart contract. Smart contract says can allow you to say, okay, the moment I sell to so person, you should change the details to, or you should delete to rewrite. So a whole lot of things that but these are for the developers, those that want to. I'm sure the only thing you all are bothered about is how to make money from Bitcoin and Ethereum um, blockchains project, which is what the next speaker would actually be talking about going forward. So, with blockchain offering some promising use cases, helping many companies become more efficient and attracting big companies like Amazon and Tesla. I'm sure you know that Amazon is using Bitcoin too. It can be an attractive investment, but there are risks. It's a new technology and many projects will not pan out. So, what that means is there's so many people that are creating different projects, Ponzi's, I call them Ponzi's, and they are tying them to blockchain, they are tying them to Bitcoin, deceiving Nigerians. Bitcoin is just like Naira. The same way MMM uses Naira to deceive Nigeria, it's the same way a lot of people are online using Bitcoin to be deceiving people. It's just a project. So don't let anybody tell you that it can give you Bitcoin. Nobody can create Bitcoin. Don't let anybody tell you that you can mine Bitcoin. I've told you how mining operates. Nobody can mine Bitcoin in Nigeria. Don't go and join any site that they will write we can double your Bitcoin, deposit $50 and be collecting $2 every day for 60 days. Nobody can do that. They are all schemers. They are just changing the narrative, which is part of the disadvantage I showed you earlier on Bitcoin. So they are sharing negative narratives about the Bitcoin technology, about about Bitcoin blockchain technology as a whole. Because some people and there are too many people paying people to be helping them to be trading coins, to different coins. When this one is down, I'm sure the next trainer will be talking about trading, how to check the candlestick and all of that. These are all of I have MT4 installed on my system. I've done trading. There's nothing you want to talk about as regard Bitcoin. Even there is Bitcoin. You can do forex with Bitcoin, with cryptocurrencies. I've done all of that. If please avoid giving people money to trade for you. Avoid it. Go and learn it yourself and bear your risk. The next trainer is going to be teaching about risk management. If you manage your risk very well, you shouldn't lose. The unfortunate thing about Forex is if you're going to gain $1, you can lose $10. So you gain or you lose. So if you are gaining, most times you're gaining maybe $1, $1.2, $1.3. That same day that your gain is 1.2, if you are going to lose, you can lose as much as $8. You don't lose $1. So the risk is massive. But if you understand risk management, you can trading different pairs, it can tell you the best time to trade, the how to take your profits, all those things. So please don't let anybody deceive you. You have an understanding of the history of Bitcoin now. Nobody can create it. You have an understanding of how it all started. And you have an understanding that you can also create your own coin. But we're in Nigeria, not be small thing. You get. So these are all the things that you need to take into consideration. Don't just jump at all these things because a friend is telling you I'm making millions from it. It is all super stories. Please stay away from it. You can invest in companies like Tesla. You can invest in MicroStrategy. There's WeWork. There are a whole lot of them that they are doing great. online as we speak now. A lot of you know about Luno, you know about Coinbase, you know about I'm sure they're going to teach you about investment. So I'm supposed to talk about investment now, but it's not part of my own deal. Okay, so blockchain companies to invest in 2021. Well, I've made mention of some of them. Visa card is using blockchain. Bank of America is using blockchain. Unilever is using blockchain. Walmart is using blockchain. Ford is using blockchain. Pfizer is using blockchain. Shell is using blockchain. Siemens is using blockchain. Tesla is using blockchain. They're all using blockchain. Exchanges, I've mentioned them: Binance, Coinbase, Bitres. There are a lot of them. Mining, uh, Hive. If you know Hive, you can mine with them. You can give them fund. They can mine for you. It's legitimate, but it's I. Do you have $10,000? Yes, if you have, you can start mining. But the money is not much. Really. It's only here in Nigeria that everybody is running after big, big money. They want small money to gain big money. If you put $10,000 down for mining, what you'll be getting every day might not be more than $1, $2 every day. For Nigerians, they want to put 10,000 naira to make 1 million naira. I don't know how that is done. So by and large, those are the things you need to know about blockchain technology. And then if I'm to leave so that we can transcend from here to the training of investments. So I'm just going to give you the overview of 10 major investment strategies. There's what we call the growth investments. You can do that. There's what we call the value investments. There's what we call the dividend growth investment, indexing, day trading, algorithm trading. I'm sure he's going to talk about those two things. There's arbitrage, there's contrarian investing, and there is yield farming. Yield farming. A lot of people do farming, and then there's the diversification. So I want to say at this point in time, thanks so much for having me, and I hope it's worthwhile. If you have any question, I think you can on the mic and let's talk together. Thank you so much for having me, everybody. Do you have anybody with any question? If there is any question, I would love to answer. And if there is no question, I think we can just call it a morning. Still in the morning. 2 minutes, few minutes to none. So thank you. I have a question. Okay. Yeah. Bitcoin uses Bitcoin technology. Ethereum uses Ethereum technology. So how do I relate blockchain technology with this individual technology? Blockchain technology gave birth to both Ethereum and I don't know when you got into the training. So they are both under the blockchain technology. So on I want to believe everybody can hear me. So on the blockchain technology, it allows just basically for um, two technologies rest on the blockchain, which is Ethereum and Bitcoin. So these are the two that operates under this. And then it's you know, Bitcoin was in existence earlier. So the technology was created way back 1980, and then in 1990, so the technology was research. Let me use the right word. Was not yet implemented. So they were research, like journals around it, like just like me writing today now that Nigeria can have its own currency called NTC, Naira coin, NC, Naira coin. So I just write about it, but I didn't implement it. I don't know how to build it, but I just wrote. So as far as back as 1982, we have some guys who actually spoke about those technology. So a guy called David Shum talked about it. Then later in 1991, Stuart and Scott, they also wrote about consortiums. That's the hybrid, the public and private. So there were research documents in place before Satoshi Nakamoto now came in, who now felt like, wait, so let's implement all these things that have been talked about now. He now invented, he made it come to life. Because when you have documents and it's not implemented, it's not yet invented. So he now made it come to life by implementing all those things. So he did some programming stuff where he could send money from his house to a place where they sell pizza, and they received the money, they accepted the money, and they delivered the pizza to his house. So he did the first transaction on the blockchain technology. So when he did that, he went a wall, because I'm sure they'll be looking for him. The CBN of the US will be looking for him. They want to arrest him. So they don't know who those guys were till date. They never existed. Then that was way back in 2013. So everyone had adopted that network, just the same way internet came. It came like a magic, like it was just there, and we started using it. You understand? So Bitcoin to blockchain also came in with its own coin that we can now use to do transactions. So all of us started using it for transaction. We've been using it. So another developer now discovered that, wait, so he now went deep to do research about the blockchain, which is the Bitcoin blockchain. He now discovered that the developers, he met with different blockchain developers. He now discovered that they had limitations. There's so many things that will hinder the future of Bitcoin technology. So he now created another Bitcoin technology and named his own Ethereum. So why did he create it? He said Bitcoin has just $21 million available for us to transact all over the world. And he felt like a time will come, everybody in the world will have Bitcoin. That 21 million is too small for over 1.3 billion people living on Earth. 1.6 now billion people living on Earth. If everybody goes digital, that means Bitcoin cannot contain us. So he now created Ethereum. So creating Ethereum, he now made it times 5 of the capacity of Bitcoin, 117 million dollars available for the whole world to transact with. It's like you now, all of us here, if all of us should hold 5 million Bitcoin, we are 10 here. That's 15 million Bitcoin. So if all of us want to have 5 Bitcoin, and there's just 21 million available, and we want to have 5 million, that means you can't take it. That means it's only 4 people that will take it. The rest of it, you have the money to buy it, but you can't access it. That's the reason why the guy that came up with Ethereum now scale it upward. So that's why Ethereum is scalable. So the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin is because one, Bitcoin is locked already. Those guys that did it, everything has been locked. So it's not scalable. You can't do anything with it again. The money is too small for the whole world to be playing with in the next 10, 20, 50 years. But for Ethereum, it has widened it and can still be okay, it can be increased. Once you lock it, you can't increase it. You understand? So that means a time will come again that another person will create another blockchain technology and give it another name and make it bigger than Ethereum. So Ethereum, that's number one of difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. So they created Ethereum so that they can increase the capacity. Two, they created Ethereum because they see that Bitcoin uses POW, proof of work, which means it requires electricity to operate. Now, Ethereum don't want to be using electricity. Ethereum want to use POS, proof of stake. So Ethereum gives room for scalability, other things. So that's the difference, and that's what makes. I don't know if that explains the um, the difference, because you're asking how do you relate blockchain technology with these individual technologies. Okay, someone is asking. I hear a lot of companies come on radio to advertise investments with them or encourage to help you trade with your money. Is it advisable to trust them since they have been in the market for a couple of years? Hey, Sarah, I use God beg you. I use God beg you. I can tell you what's going to happen to those companies. You've heard about what's the name of this last one that collapsed recently? MB something. Now, I will tell you categorically that a lot of people come in the name of bring your money, I'll help you to invest. We'll be using your money to be trading, then we'll be giving you return on investment, certain percentage every month or every day. It is all fraud, but some are well orchestrated that it will last for an average of 3 to 5 years. So the first bed, so what they do is Ponzi. When they collect your money, they will tell you they are using your money to trade, they are using your money in agriculture, they're using your money in this, in that. They are not using your money in anything. I don't know how best to explain this online, because I wouldn't want to be overquoted in some things. Now, when they collect 100,000 naira from Mr. A, they already have 1 million naira in their account. They'll be giving Mr. A for 5,000 naira every day. All right, for 5,000 naira every day. So Mr. A is seeing that he's collecting his money, nothing is happening. It's because they have a capital that they use in starting that project. Now, Mr. A will now go and tell Mr. B that there's a place, so they are giving me 5,000 every day on my capital. Shall you come and join? Mr. B will now come. He will join, bring in another 100,000. They will now be using Mr. B's money to pay Mr. A. When Mr. A is done with his 100,000 naira and his profit, he will still go and gather 200,000 naira. When you do a business, you invest 100, you collected 150. Before you know it, you go and bring 200,000. You will go back and bring bigger money. When you bring the bigger money, when you bring in the bigger money, what happens next? You are using your own money to pay another person, making that person happy. So it's a pyramid. It's going to get to an elastic limit. I've shared this with nothing less than 5 of those investment companies, and they all collapse. As I speak to you, they all collapse. So it is your money that will collapse. It is your money. And when you get to court or anywhere, they will not jail them. They will never jail them. They will only be disturbing them. You'll be spending your own more money. You can't collect that money again. Some of you might know about some of those companies that have been in existence. I made mention of a friend having up to 1.2 billion in his account. That's what he did at that time. I said something earlier that I came into the business with a wrong door, which means I came in this form. A friend was doing Ponzi with Bitcoin and I didn't know. And he was telling me, no, you buy and sell Bitcoin. Then I also came in doing the same model. I was collecting money from people and I was giving them 33% every day. Whatever you give me, I'll give you 3% in a month. Do you know what that is? 90% every month was what I was giving back to people. And I discovered that, I was really, really trading, but the person was not trading. So along the line, I discovered that, wait, oh, if with my 1 million naira, am I making up to 5% every day as profit with Bitcoin? No. I'm telling you the sincere truth. I wasn't making, in fact, you might not understand. If you close to thank God can tell you some of these things because he knows how big I was in that space as at that time. Nobody in Nigeria, I'm telling you, I was among the top 10 people that determined the rate of Bitcoin in Nigeria at a time. So don't let anybody deceive you. I went into Bitcoin with a wrong door. I explained that earlier. I went in with the wrong door. The door I went in with is wrong. So I collect money from people. I ask people because Bitcoin is the more money you have. I'm sure the next person that will be taking you will also say that with trading. So the more money you stake in your trading portfolio, the more money you make. So I didn't want to go. If I knew about this, I would have went into Bitcoin with just 500,000 naira. And by now, I shouldn't have nothing less than 500 million in my account. You understand? But I was collecting more money from people. People were investing because they want to earn 3% every day. So I was trading heavily. I told you I had over $800,000 turnover. So when I have 10 million naira in a day, I'll buy Bitcoin worth 10 million naira and I'll sell every day. I do nothing less than between 5 and 20 million every day, Nigerian naira, every day. And these are not my own money, but other people's money. So I thought I could be making as much as 5%, 10% every day. So giving the investors 3% out of their money every day shouldn't be an issue. Then along the line, I discovered that I wasn't even making more than 2%. So if I have 1 million naira, with my 1 million, I can not make, if I trade with that 1 million in a roll within 1 hour, if I gather up to 1 million worth of Bitcoin, 1 million naira worth of Bitcoin, by the time I'm selling, I can't make more than 40, 30, 20,000 naira. I don't know if you can understand. So how many of that 1 million can I now do in a day? So that will now determine the number of 20,000 naira times the number of turnover. So if I could do 1 million in 10 places, that's 10 million naira turnover. Now, the profit I'm going to be having is 20,000 naira times 10. That's 200,000 naira. And it is not every time I make 20,000 naira in 1 million. So I don't know if you are getting this logic now. So anybody in that space at that time, what we do, we make little money, but we work on the turnover. So we try to gather more money. So when you have 10 million and you do 10 million 10 times, so we have a place where we buy Bitcoin and we have a place where we sell Bitcoin. So every day we gather as much as we can. So if you can do 10 million naira 10 times, you know what that is? That's 20 times 10, 200 times 10. That's 2 million. In a day, you can't make such. So anybody coming to tell you that you can actually make 3% in a day is a fat lie. That can give you this, it is all lies. So the best I can tell you is to understand the different investment pattern or model you can approach with Bitcoin. So the one I did was different, and under that we had nothing less than 5 methods in Bitcoin trading. Then you're going to be talking about trading also today is in another form. That's the form of trading pairs. You can trade So it's more or less like forex for cryptocurrencies, where you trade in between different currencies. So you are going to learn about that. Do it yourself. Take your risk and make your profit. But all these things is not as sweet if it is as sweet as that. No, will anybody be telling you their secrets? Nobody will tell you his business secrets now. Nobody will tell you it's not possible. You get, so people telling you bring in your money, do this is a lie. It's most 98% of them, they are into Ponzi. So thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate everyone. I think we just got to our 2 hours done. Thank you and have a lovely day.